So, Coach, good to see you. How's practice looking so far?
Good, good, and really pleased. We'll be on. I had to cancel Saturday's practice because of the weather, so we're on day 5 today. Really pleased with the progress. Pleased with the way that our guys are attacking practice. Pleased with the progress offensively. Putting in a new offense. So I feel like we're in a good place. Going back to January. Really pleased with the way our players are going about their business and the way they've attacked things, and I like where we're at.
One of the things, and I asked Coach Volker this, looking at, option defense, which is kind of a big part of what you do. Obviously, a lot of that in the spring would happen going ones against ones, but against a new offense, you don't necessarily get that same kind of repetition. Are you having to make any changes to make sure that you're still keeping that knife edge sharp for against the option?
No, I think we're still running our option defense against these guys and things that we do, against the other two academies. I mean, there are some similarities to what we're doing offensively now to what we've done in the past and what the other two academies, and in particular, Air Force, what they do. So that piece really hasn't changed.
As far as the new offense goes, have you made any changes to strength and conditioning? I know with the like in a wing tee, typically the like interior offensive linemen are really running outside a lot. Has there been any changes as far as like how you want guys to look physically, or just to account for the new offense?
No, not in the way that we attack the strength and conditioning. I think the way that we recruit moving forward, some of those profiles and things like that change a little bit, Mike. But the way we attack the strength and conditioning, we may tweak some things here and there in a minor way, but the training hasn't changed a whole lot.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Wags.
Good to see you, Coach.
You too,
So what from what you've seen so far, the wing tee, are you liking it? I was out there Thursday, and there were some big plays that the offense broke against the defense, and you would think with the defensive system that's been in place for 5 years, the defense would be a little ahead of the game. But and Coach Cronick thought that they did some good things the Tuesday of last week as well against the defense. Are you liking what you're seeing?
Yeah, I love it. Been really really encouraged. Like you said, there was some big plays made, and it's usually hard treading with the offense in the spring. If you're seeing offense go up down the field, it's probably not a good thing. But the team had some success, and really, when you look at the tape, really just a misstep here, a blown assignment here. 10 guys doing it right, maybe one guy just off a little bit from there being a lot of the big plays that hit. So I really like what we're doing. I really like how we're doing it more than anything. Our guys are going out there competing. They're flying around. We're making each other better right now, but really, really pleased with the offense.
Coach Cronick had said, or no, I think it was Coach Jasper told me that some of the defensive guys have commented that the wing tee is difficult to defend. I mean, is this exactly what you had hoped? I mean, it's something that you don't see a lot in college football, and I know that Coach Cronick has kind of perfected his system and made it a more modern wing tee. It's not like the old school Delaware wing tee that I saw high school teams running around Anne Arundel County for years. But do you think there is some really difficult elements to defending this?
I do. I look at everything from a defensive perspective, Wags, and it's very challenging. And the thing that we're doing, there's some wing tee elements. There's also some triple option elements in there as well. I think I really like the stuff we're doing in the pass game, whether it's a short passing game and the quick pass game or the play action boot stuff. It's all really good, really challenging. It's a system, and you taking advantage of people. And I know Coach Cronick will be able to do that. So, yeah, I like what we're doing. I love it. I think we've got to be unique. We've got to be different here, and we have a niche in what we're doing, and this offense certainly provides that.
Well, on that topic, tight ends, obviously, tight ends are always a big part of a wing tee offense. They need to be a weapon. I did see Thomas Scully make a nice catch on a drag route the other Thursday, gained big yardage. But, you're still playing tight end with guys that were converted defenders. How are you coming along in that position? Do you think next season you will be able to utilize tight ends as more of a skill position?
Yeah, the tight end's got to be a staple in our offense. What we're doing, and I've been real pleased with Scully. I think Jake's done some really good things. Cody Howard is a guy that won't go through spring football, but is a really talented player that'll play that tight end position for us too. He put on some weight, looked really, really good. So I'm excited about the progress at that position, and yeah, we're certainly gonna need to and want to use the tight end as much as we can. So yeah, I think that piece of it's been really good this spring.
Joe Miller.
Hey, Coach, I know all the conversation's been about the offense and sort of figuring, the new style out. But as far as what you wanted to accomplish defensively on that side of the football field when it came to spring, was there any sort of big objectives that you tried to emphasize or want to emphasize as you continue this process?
The main focus in spring is just it's on the core fundamentals, and we talk about the 4 core skill sets that you have to have at every position in order to be able to win. And so the main focus is on those things. And we've been in the system here for a while, and the main goal is just to get better at the things that we do. Got a lot of young guys out there getting reps, a lot of really talented players, and we lost some guys on the D line that we got to replace, but really encouraged by what some of the young guys are showing so far, and we got a lot of returning faces, and kind of hit the ground running, and really excited about our defense moving forward, and some of the little tweaks and changes. We're always looking to evolve and figure out a way to do things better. And but like the offense, really, really pleased with the approach as a unit right now. The guys are flying around, they're competing. We want them to go cut it loose, in spring ball, and it all comes down to fundamentals of things that we want.
When it comes to evaluation, and you talked about tweaking some things, have you found it in the past? I know when we talk about guys maybe trying a new position, or is that more of a fall camp thing, or is that something that the process can get started in the spring as well?
No, the process can certainly get started in the spring. If you're going to experiment or try some things, the spring is the time to do that. Whether it's from Nexus Node standpoint, some things you want to take a look at, or maybe moving some guys around, trying the different positions. Spring is really the time you'd like to do it, Joe. Sometimes you do it in the fall just out of necessity, but this time of year to do that.
And pardon the ignorance on this question, but when it comes to special teams, how much is that a part of spring, or is that just not at all?
Yeah. No, it's big here. I think we probably spend more time out here than maybe some other places do, and spend more time out than certainly I have in the past or the places that I've been. But we did I don't know if you saw it, Joe. We did a draft before spring football, 4 teams, and we go out and we compete on special teams. Brown's done a phenomenal job of that. It kind of on the spring, you got to find a way to get them motivated, get them going to do the special team stuff, and Coach Brown's done a phenomenal job of that. But those guys are going out there every day and competing. There's certain things you want to hit every day. You want to hit your punt unit every day. Make sure you're niced up on that, and the PAT field goal stuff, and we spend a good amount of time on.
Thanks,
Pete.
Coach.
All right, Joe. Pete Medhurst.
Coach, is it possible for a guy to win a job here in spring in terms of putting himself at the top, at least of your whiteboard, not necessarily the public depth chart or anything like that people make too much of, but is it possible that someone can play well enough in the short amount of time you have here to exceed, everybody else and get to the top of that list going into fall camp?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think you can certainly separate yourself, at your position. Winning the job, may not be a fair thing to say, but putting yourself in a good position, certainly. We want these guys to all feel like they're having to compete for their jobs, every day in spring. The Rents do around here every day, but they can certainly put themselves in a great position and build some trust and some confidence from the coaching staff moving into the summer and into fall camp for sure.
How tough is an install? We think it's something easy because coaches do it all the time, players do it all the time, but just how difficult is an install when you're putting in a, new philosophy, obviously, like you all are implementing right now?
Yeah, it's a little challenging here, to be honest with you, because what we do offensively and defensively is so unique and different. And so as you're, offense side of football, as you're installing a new offense, you're seeing a lot of stuff. You're seeing more from our defense than you'll see from probably anybody else that they'll play, which is sometimes you have to slow the installation process down. You put your install down for the first couple of weeks, and you always adjust it based on progress that you're making. I think Drew pulled back after the first couple of days. We want to make sure that we're good at some of the basic stuff before we move forward. And that's the way it'll be today. Wednesday, I think we're going to move forward with some installation stuff. You have to, but it's challenging for the defense too, because you're defending a kind of a non-traditional offense. And so, we put in our option principle on defense, but you also want to do the things that you're going to do versus traditional offense. So it's a little bit of a challenge, and you just got to go into it knowing that there's going to be some things that you're not completely sound against, on both sides of the football, but there's some things that you've got to get in and get done.
Based on the different things that we've seen Coach Cronick run and the variety that he's run at all the different places he's had an opportunity to coach offense, with all the skilled people that you have, if they all do, make it back healthy, obviously, God willing, for game one, how exciting is it to have those type of skill guys available, ready right now with game experience for him to be able to implement with what you all are going to try and package together?
I think it's huge. I think the one thing I said when we hired Drew is he's done a great job of is being able to evolve and grow with the players that he has and take advantage of what they can do well. And I think he's doing that, and he's trying to figure out what exactly that looks like right now. So yeah, we've got some really good players on offense. We've got weapons on football. I mean, really pleased with what we've seen so far. So it's there's certain things we know we have to be able to do, and there's certain things that directions we're going to go as we evolve based on our players and what they can and can't do. And if there's anybody that can do that, it's Coach Cronick. And he's done it in the past, and like you said, he's done so many different things. We know what we want to do, what we have to be able to do here to be successful, but I want to ask guys to do things they can't do, and so and that's what he's trying to figure out right now. What exactly what we need to do to win.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pete.
All right, let's go back to Mike James.
I'm good, thanks.
Wags.
Coach, wide receivers, you graduated 2 starters in Umbarger and Kamari. Nathan Kent's running track. I think on Thursday I saw a lot of slot backs lining up as receivers. Is that out of necessity because you're thin at wide receiver, or is that part of the package?
Yeah, a little bit of necessity. We've got Nathan Kent's running track. Regis is not going through spring ball. We've had a couple of hamstrings, but we've moved some guys over from the defensive side of football to offensive side of football, and we've had some injuries, and so a little bit out of necessity. And if there's an area we're thin right now, just based off of injuries, it's what we need to be able to do to function right now.
In terms of guys sitting out, who are some of the key guys that you can think of off the top of your head that are not participating in spring ball? I think I know some of them.
Yeah, and I'm going to probably miss a couple of them, but obviously, defensively, Kyle Jacob, linebacker, Kenny McChan, towards ACL going into fall camp last year, won't participate in spring football. Regis with the knee, Nathan Kent going through in track practice right now. Cody Howard, obviously, with his knee as well. And there's a few others, too, that you'd love to be getting reps right now. We just can't do it.
Offensive line wise, I know I was talking to Coach Cronick, and he said the new offense is probably most challenging for them to pick up because they have to work as a 5-man unit. How do you see them coming along? You have a lot of parts back. I'm guessing Trey Cummings is getting a look at left tackle where you lost Glover, but Purvis is back, Self is back. I think Hoke Smith was running at the guard spot where Josh Pena is graduating, and Connor McMahon.
Yep.
But how's the O-line looking to you?
Good. Of all the position groups, I've been just as pleased with the line as I have been any other group. I think Jay and Tommy are doing a great job. Those guys, the Bhutan hasn't gone through, hadn't practiced yet. He's another guy I should have mentioned earlier. one of our best O linemen, and so hopefully we get him back next week. But been really pleased with the progress of the O line, especially in light of us having a new offense, and then all the things they're saying on defense. We're feminine movement just about every snap, and so it's a lot. But they seem to be picking everything up very, very well so far.
Well, now it's the last one for me for now. Jay, watching him Thursday, he's a very vocal guy. He gets after him. But then I saw social media, he posted he was hosting a dinner for the O lineman, so I know he loves him. But what do you think of Jay early on?
Love him. I think he was a grand slam hire, home run. I think he's been really, really good. He coaches them hard, and he needs to, and he's tough on those guys during practice, but those guys know that he cares about them. I've sat in several position meetings, and guys are in there cutting up, they're having fun, and the thing I talked to the staff about during spring ball is this has got to be fun. This has got to be a want-to environment, not a have-to environment. You think about all the things these guys deal with on a daily basis. They come over here, man. I want it to be the best part of their day, and our coaches know that. And I think the O-line's having fun, and you can see already, some improvement up front, the way those guys are coming off football and some things they're doing. Really pleased with Jay and Tommy and what they've done with the line so far.
Joe Miller,
I'm good, thanks.
Pete Medhurst,
I'm good, Scott. Thank you.
Wags, you have anything to wrap us up?
Sure. Hold on. Let me.
Please stay
So the down lineman, you obviously, who is Landon Robinson kind of the heir apparent to Biscuit at nose guard, or is he getting competition? Looking at last year's depth chart, Terrence McCauley was on there at the end. I don't know how he's come along. Kendall Whiteside and Tyler Narayan, or however the hell he pronounces that, was on there. But what's happening at those two down line spots that you got to fill?
Yeah, I tell you, we got a lot of good young players out there. All those guys you mentioned, Willis, doing some really, really good things. Ikenna at end. We got a lot of really good young players that are already showing a lot of promise. The D-line coach Hall has done a really, really good job with those guys. So really encouraged by what I've seen so far. And Landon's had another outstanding offseason, and you see that carry over on the field in spring football. But yeah, he's running with the first group at that position right now.
And what about restocking at the striker position after losing McDonald and Gibbons? I know Jackson Campbell's back. Who's showing up at striker?
Yep, Jackson's over there. Jay Sean McLean's getting reps at striker. Riley Bergeson is also in there doing some good things for us, and all those guys that have shown flashes so far this spring. So I'm excited and encouraged about that position as well.
I know it's not the most important position on the field in spring ball, but Rain Fry playing baseball, that's your long snapper. I was out there the other day and I saw Pelin Grav de Peralta, a punter, doing long snapping. Does that concern you at all when you don't have a true long snapper out there working with the fellas?
We feel really good about Fry and the job he did in the fall, and having him come back is huge. Yeah, you mentioned him in spring ball, but it's allowing some other guys to get some reps at that too. I think GDP, we call him, he's done a really good job snapping the football. So it's a good opportunity for some other guys to get some reps and make sure we have some solid depth there, long snapper. But it is a very important position.
All right. So when will you be issuing a depth chart?
I don't know, Wags. Maybe after spring ball, we'll put out a pseudo depth chart. We'll see.